show us the edge. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Trying on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the apple. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate the flocking fam in the building. PPR representing. Late tonight, man. Sorry about the late pop-in, but listen, man, we here. We're going to talk some Pels with you guys for the hour, man. And please feel free to hit that like button, man. We up in this thing. If you're listening via X, hit the retweet button. It helps us out. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, smash the sub button. Die Hard Pelican Talk. We in the building. I'm Big Q. We got Lex streaming in. Much love to my girl Lex. Good to see. And my boy DC is not going to be on tonight. He had a late concert and he's tired. He was performing and he plucked the hell out. Yeah, he was actually doing the concert. He plucked out of the guitar so much he got tired and he had to go to sleep. So there you go. So shout out to DC. Big up.
That sheriff.
Oh man, he's plucking the hell out that guitar. You know he can't sing worth of nothing, but he played the hell out that guitar, boy. I'll tell you what. All right, so anyway, we in the stream, man. Listen, a couple of things I want to go over with the family members tonight. Of course, the Pels, the Pels did a very interesting move. They released Matt Ryan, right? And then later on, they resigned Matt Ryan. So there you go. You talk about stability and commonsensical, man. We got Matt Ryan back, a sharpshooter for the Pelicans. We'll go over that today. We're also going to go over the Grade the Trade. We're going to talk about another episode of Grade the Trade. We'll go over that as well. And we'll kind of do our little analysis and talk about the Pelicans. So let's get right on into it. Lex, let's get into this article right here. Shout out to SI with this one. Pelicans re-signed former Celtics forward literally days after waiving him. On Friday, the Pelicans trimmed their roster in financially driven maneuver that moved them just $1.6 million over the luxury tax. The tax distribution to teams that don't cross that threshold is the projected record high of $18.2 million. But despite waiving Matt Ryan at the start of the last weekend, while still satisfying the league minimum of having 14 players signed to a standard contracts, the Pelicans brought back the 6'6" sharpshooter on Monday, according to Shams. 28 games with the Pels last year, including one star. Ryan averaged 5.4 points per contest, shot 45% from 3.3 attempts from the 3-point range. That earned him a new 3-year $6.1 million contract in late April. However, when they guaranteed his $1.5 million deal in 23-24 campaign, his 2.2 salary for 24-25 wasn't set to become guaranteed until the first day of the upcoming regular season. Ryan now returns on a restructured 1-year agreement. Right now, he's a former Notre Dame Fighting Irish standout, finished the 21-22 season with the Celtics. And the 3-year veteran is 41.1% 3-point shooter, producing 4.4 points per contest for his career. So that is Matt Ryan coming back to the fold for our Pels. Now, Lex, we know that the Pelicans, man, listen, we're not mad or sad that we have Matt Ryan back. I think having another shooter here is all good because remember that was the thing we often talked about back in the day when we lacked shooters. We needed all the shooting in the world. We got a lot of shooters now, but bringing Matt Ryan back, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I mean, they being cheap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just get down to
You don't sound very enlightened. You don't sound very excited about having Matt Ryan back.
I don't know. I mean, this is a shooters league.
Right.
It's a shooters league. I mean, I just understand, what they were doing. I mean, they were being cheap because,
Right.
they're trying to get under the luxury tax and they're still a little bit above it. So I don't know how they're going to work that, but it seems like, the shooters are going to be expendable because, obviously you pick up Javonte Green, but I don't know with Jordan Hawkins being in talks and just because they signed Matt Ryan back, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's still going to be a Pelican. So, they could have reconstructed his contract just so they could trade him. I mean, because it seems like everybody who's expendable at this point, you're really hearing Jordan Hawkins' name a whole lot. And obviously, when you look at the roster right now, when are Jordan Hawkins or Matt Ryan going to play?
Yes.
I mean, you have to ask these questions. I mean, you don't want to, believe that like, nah, Lex, they're going to play, but are they? I mean, so it's just the reality of the situation. I just think, just because they reconstruct the contract, they still may move Matt Ryan.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah, it could be a situation where, yeah, it could be a part of a trade philosophy. I mean, this could be a little bit of chess going on here by the Pels brass man at the top.
Probably
Maybe checkers, a little checkers.
Yeah, checkers. Yeah, let's get it right. Get it right, Big Q.
Yeah, it's
look, the Pelicans are, well, they're not, I don't even know if they're trying, but the Pelicans need to try to get to where they can play chess. What? The mentality makes a huge difference. So,
well, I mean, that's aiming at the toughness mentality, shaking the idea what we had last year with teams rough you up, that kind of throws you off your game. You got a tough guy in Murray who is not going to play that. So if he's the floor general, he's the leader. And don't forget Jones either.
The leader, the quarterback,
that's what he is.
The enforcer. I mean, but you know what? It's really something. Look, we got a point guard, but man, there's a lot that is needed from DeJounte. And I kind of feel like, man, that's not even fair to him. He just got here. You know what I'm saying? He just got with the organization. And it's like, man, y'all need a lot. Look, is the money I'm making under all these job titles? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's my job description?
But see, that's the thing though. He had 2 previous stops where he was trained up on this. He knows how to do what he does, and I think at this point he's ready to win, man. I mean, after going through what they went through with Atlanta, I mean, the man want to win, man, and having a team like with Zion and BI and all these other guys, CJ off ball, Herb, Trey, Jose. I mean, he got to be looking at this squad and say, damn, man, I'm the final piece of what could what could be something special. That's how I think he views it. Like him being the final piece of the puzzle. Lex, that's what I'm thinking. That's how I look at how DeJounte Murray views it. And he made some comments that fit that philosophy, to be honest with you. He's the final piece of a very special puzzle.
Well, we hope so. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think it's just going to be a lot on him. We finally got a stud point guard. I know, there's been a lot of talk about not having a true big man and all that stuff, but when I look at other situations as far as teams, they have a stud point guard and they have a quality coach. And so I just kind of feel like there's like it's kind of broken a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because we only have half of it. You know what I'm saying? So whereas other teams, they have their, point guard and the coach are both on that level, whereas we just have one that's on that level. And I hope you know who that one
I don't
is.
I don't know who you I don't
Oh,
know.
dang.
I don't know who you talk about.
Stacy said, finally got a Drew Holiday replacement. You know what? That's really sad to say that.
I don't know. I think Drew Holiday was good. I think I like Drew Holiday better off ball than at point for
Yeah.
because he turned the ball over a lot at the point guard position. That's the one knock I often talked about Drew when he was down here. Is that when he was at point guard, and that was the vision ultimately to have Drew off ball Drew, like you see a lot of these teams using Drew Holiday off ball because of his defensive acumen. But when he ran point for the Pelicans in those days, a lot of turnovers came from Drew. DeJounte Murray, I don't know if Murray, in my opinion, at the point guard position, he's a big guard that can defend. I'm very excited about the potentiality of having him and Herb Jones in the backfield at the same time when they do roll those rotations out. But like I said, they're an interesting team. I do get what you're saying about the center position. They have an unfinished feeling to it. You know what I'm saying? It does have that because of the energy of the potential trade luring over the, kind of hovering above the team. But you can't deny the possible versatility of the team. And you're right. Willie Green has his hands cut out for him. He got a lot of stuff that he needs to figure out how to get the most out of these players. So it's no excuses. You got to coach the best he's ever done.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
Hoffa just said we about to make a move if re-sign Ryan. I think a trade is coming. What type of trade do you think is coming?
I don't know. I don't know what they got cooking up there, but whatever it is, it got to be around BI. So I haven't heard anything in terms of them with a potential trade, but I mean, it does put pieces together where you could be able to kind of potentially mesh something later on. But the truth of the matter is, a trade for Brandon Ingram, that could happen at any time. So, but what would be the mind frame change at this point? Would a player get hurt or going into training camp, somebody that's supposed to be there might get hurt, and that might force a team that wants to contend to change their mind and make a move? A lot of this stuff kind of ferrets itself out as we get further in the season when teams started thinking, okay, we can contend versus teams laying back, say, let's see if we can go get this draft pick. That's what we need to see happen. But I don't know. It's very weird, man. But I mean, truthfully, we can just be thinking about it like this. A trade can come at any time. But even though, we'll see what happens. It's very conflicting, man. I don't know, but you do have the pieces. You said that, Lex, that we do have the pieces for a potential trade if we need it. Maybe we'll see how it all goes, man. It's a lot of craziness. Too many.
Yeah, it's a lot of ripple effect.
Mhm.
The thing is, something does need to be done. I feel like I said the last time, this roster is it's in between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
Because the thing is, if you keep Brandon, you're basically holding back Trey Murphy. And if Trey Murphy is the future, why are you not opening that door for him to really walk into into his role. And so, you know, the money issue is still going to be there. And we've, talked about it many a times, but I just feel like if we're trying to really plan for the future, and it seems like, Griff, I kind of feel like he's conflicted because it's almost like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. And it's like, dude, you have to make a business decision and you can't be skittish about it. I think it's the same thing as far as when you look at the picks, holding on to all those picks. Like, the picks are not designed for you to just hoard them or hold on to them. You got to do something. You have a golden opportunity here. Like, you're supposed to build something. I think really the poor decisions that he's made has just caused a negative ripple effect, because really the foundation, I don't feel like the foundation and the focus is really on winning. It's about, okay, we need to save money.
I hear what you're saying, Lex. I think yeah, it's not time for and Pelicans had that time. And like, this is we're heading into year number 6 with David Griffin over the top of the Pelicans team. And
Yeah.
my God, how fast that time has gone on. But this is year number 6 for David Griffin. So a lot of the pick strategies that we've seen happen with him, all that's not even a thing right now. His mind frame needs to be in terms of getting the most out of the players that he got. That's why I'm feeling like he was like talking people into thinking like, okay, we got Brandon Ingram, we got a pretty good cast of characters, which they do. If everybody stays in a lane and it runs like we think it does, then the Pelicans have a formidable team right here. They really do, because Zion Williamson is a nightmare to guard. Brandon Ingram in his proper perspective is awesome as well. These are 20-point guys. CJ off ball is knocking them threes down. DeJounte's doing his thing. You got Herb off the bench. You got Trey off the bench. Hopefully they don't play Zion too much at 5. I'm really against that because of Zion.
I don't like that.
I don't want him at the 5 position.
I don't like it.
And that we got 4 centers, that you can use in that position. Use them there. Don't play. I understand, like in lineups where you might see Zion against the Golden State Warriors when they have Draymond Green at the 5 or something like that. I understand that, but putting Zion against Joel Embiid or all these other guys, I would say no to that, man.
I do have a question though, and this is for everyone in the chat. If I'm gonna say for the fans, if the Pelican fans' goal is to maximize Zion, is having him at the 5 maximizing his abilities?
I would say depends on the matchup. That's what I would say. Is like, what do you see that you can get value at Zion at the 5? Like I said, if it's a small lineup and you got a guy that's a small center, somebody like that, I can see you doing that. But I wouldn't say not so much against more bona fide centers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't putting them up against Wembanyama or none of these type of people. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see that.
But get this, right? So when do we really see where Zion really opened up? In what position did we, when we see him playing, what position does he flourish the most?
You talking about the point Zion? Is that what you're saying, Lex?
Yeah, when the ball is in his hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there was a huge difference when the ball was in his hands. Now, I understand DeJounte, but think about all of this, because really, I like that's the great thing, because if you think about it, Zion needed a point guard. And I want to point this out, because I know this is kind of weird. I've been talking about this, but I haven't shared it yet. But when you look at in a way, I look at Zion and DeJounte as kind of being almost like a mirror image in a different dynamic. Not exactly, but Luka and Kyrie.
Over Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, break it down, Lex.
Because if you think about it, Zion is strongest when he has the ball in his hands when he's going downhill.
This is true. Yeah.
They can't do anything with him.
No.
The only thing that he doesn't have is a shot like Luka. That's why I said in a different dynamic. And then when you look at Kyrie, you have Kyrie, he can handle the rock. He can dish. You know what I'm saying? Again, he probably doesn't not probably. He doesn't have a layup package like Kyrie. But again, he can handle the rock. He can open up the floor. He can make good decisions. Okay? And we saw many times where, Kyrie had the ability to close. Why do we get DeJounte? To help during that closing stage.
Right.
So I say them because again, I'm pushing a different dynamic. Please don't think I'm because they're not the same. But I'm talking about as far as the positions. Because we've seen where Zion is at his best when he has the ball in his hands. And with DeJounte, again, another point guard who can handle the rock, make decisions, make tough shots or clutch shots. But I just think there's a lot of similarities there. And it would be funny because if they actually reconstructed as far as the positions, not looking at Zion as a guy that he needs to play down low, but a guy that, hey, he literally is a point Zion.
Mm-hmm.
Then you actually go and get a 4, get a 5. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that would make this team dangerous. I just wanted to throw that out there, but that has been on my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he's definitely unique, man, in what he does, man. And I remember there was a time several years ago when Zion had just came back from injury and he was working on the 3-point shot while he was hurt. And he was actually comfortably shooting. Remember, he was shooting those 3-pointers several years ago when he came off the injury. He was knocking them 3-pointers down. He hit like, 2 or 3 of them in a row. He was shooting them pretty good. So, I mean, that's a part of his game. I like a lot of people want him to see the mid-range aspect of it. We start seeing more of that last year because that was the big question. Yo, Q, why is he not getting into his mid-range game more? Then you start seeing more of that this past year with him doing that. And I expect that's another big thing is the mid-range game from Zion Williamson to draw people.
Yeah. And see, that would be the evolution of that. And then I know, like Slim, you were saying point Zion, but where does that put CJ? Well, look. See, you're saying the wrong name. It's Herb and Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what opens them up because, again, if you look at how Dallas is set up, and I know it's crazy, but if you could just reconstruct the positions, okay? They had Derrick Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And they had what is his name? What is that dude's name? Came from Charlotte.
Williams. Was it Williams? Not Williams.
What is this dude's name?
Damn it.
Hold on, it's coming.
I know. I see the dude's face. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I see his face too. It's bothering me. Golly, that's awful. That is so awful that I can't.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah, PJ. Is it PJ?
PJ Washington.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously we know that Trey, well, really either or, depending on how you want to match it up. But having Trey at the 4, Herb at the 3 because again, you had that strong defender.
Mhm.
Now Trey, it may be kind of shaky with him because, or you could, switch it out. I mean, but right now we'll just keep it at Trey and Herb right there. Have them down there, and then you have your 5, which would probably be
Tice.
Tice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but like I said, just throwing it out there, see what, just offering something different. Because, it seems like everybody looks at Zion like he's a big man. Zion is 6'6", y'all. Right?
Right.
Y'all do know that Michael Jordan, he was 6'6". I'm saying, I mean, I'm just
Man, looking at Zion's
think about this.
Zion's Gert. He knocked LeBron on his ass in that game.
But that's what is distracting everyone because everyone's thinking about his girth.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, if you look at his position, Zion is bigger than most point guards, right?
Yeah.
And when he is locked in on defense, do you know he can defend?
Yes, he can.
Boys can defend, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, how is a point guard getting around his body at that quickness? That's what makes him unique. That's what makes him unique because he's at that size and he's quick like a shifty guard.
Yes.
And when he's locked in, and I don't know if you all have seen him when he's really locked in, it's hard to get around him. Hey, Ja Morant is a shifty guard. I saw when they had them like one-on-one a couple of games. Hey man, Ja wasn't getting around Zion, man. He was doing all his stuff, but it's like, dude, I'm just as quick as you, and I'm a big dude.
You meet him at the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he's locked in, I mean, and I'm not saying obviously every single time, but the times that I saw, and Ja, he was actually doing his stuff.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for him to get around him. Now he would do some ragdoll type stuff, to try to attract a foul and stuff. But
yeah,
when he's locked in, he can guard, man.
Yeah, when he's scoring,
saying he's a deficiency on the defensive end because I'm like, man, Zion about to break out that defense and remind everybody because he was known for his defense. Y'all know that.
Man,
he was known for his defense.
I know Lexxah was with Zion, man. That's the big part of the game. A lot of people want to see that next level, like we've seen a lot of the time robbed from him due to injuries. Now it's with him getting as much time as he getting, and we kind of talked about this in the prior screen about Amy Atmore having an opportunity to work with him, and the way he's looking in the off season, and we might see a total Zion we've not seen before, a guy that's in shape, a guy that's actually faster than what we've seen last year with all the weight on him. He was in good shape last year. Imagine what he could do this year. So,
and that's the thing.
Speed aspect design takes even, and we've heard that before. It takes the defenders off guard to know you got a big guy that big that can move that fast. Yeah.
And just think on offense, if he's moving as quick as he is, and he's doing everybody, because Zion's getting where he wants to go on the offensive end.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about taking that quickness and putting it on the defensive end. Yeah. Like he's showing it. We're just not thinking about it like, and then look, people were complaining about out of shape Zion, right?
Right.
Oh, be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? Be careful what you ask for. Like, are you all seeing the upside? Like, of this? Like, y'all got a problem when this dude starts realizing who he is and who he is destined to be.
I think you might see that this year. I mean, the only thing that was stopping him was a lot of the health
injuries. And
Yeah.
and I want to say this is because I know been so much backlash, but y'all, and I don't know if anybody in the chat has ever had an injury, let alone like an injury like every other year or every year, whatever, however you want to look at it. But injuries take a toll on you mentally.
Yes, sir. Yes,
They
indeed.
really do. And I can actually say that because I've had 2 surgeries on my knee. And let me tell you something. They always say that it's not the injury that bothers you. And I know his injuries have been hamstrings. I get that. But anytime you are away and you're not able to play the game, whatever sport that is, it wears on your mind. And I think a lot of people don't understand that process unless you've been through it. They really don't understand. Obviously, you know, his injuries were, you know, below the belt and everything, but it's like just imagine not being able to do anything. You have to rehab. Rehabbing is not staying in shape. It's rehabbing. You know what I'm saying? When you're rehabbing, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna pick up weight. In his case, because he has a unique body, it's gonna be different from someone like a Kevin Durant. It's gonna be different compared to someone like Brandon Ingram or a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Or you all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Zion's body is that unique. And I don't think that's talked about enough. Like we can't talk about Zion like he doesn't have a unique body. His body is not the traditional basketball body. He has a very unique body. And it just can't be like, treated like Chet Holmgren. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, it's totally different. But, definitely, I just feel like those injuries, they wore on his mind. And people, like I said, if you have never been through an injury at all, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to comprehend unless you've actually been through something similar or worse.
Yeah, he had a contingent of different injuries, man, and you seen the frustration that he exhibited the last injury he had when the Pelicans were on the way to winning that game against the Lakers, and how he hobbled off. He threw the towel down. He was frustrated
Yeah.
because he couldn't complete the game. It popped up
He
at the
wasn't happy about it. And I think some people think, oh, Zion was happy to get out that game. No, he was having a great game.
yeah,
Like we all wanted to see him because that was his moment.
yep,
That was huge. Like, golly, man, in that game, do you know in that fourth quarter, LeBron James did not score? He
right,
didn't score until Zion left.
yep, yep.
Like, think about that. I don't look, and
And Bron,
LeBron
AD,
stayed in very good shape. Yes, I understand his age and everything, but you're talking about LeBron. He kept LeBron scoreless.
yep. He
He
was
kept
doing
him
his thing,
scoreless in the fourth quarter. You
and he
talk
was
about
scoring.
in the clutch. Not only that, he was going on the offensive end doing
Scoring.
Anthony Davis.
Yep, going over up top of Anthony
Man,
Davis, over top of him.
like he was coming like, golly, that was a huge, huge moment right there.
Yeah,
And it was a moment that really, 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 really mattered. But he was just as sick about, going out that game, probably more so than anybody else.
yeah,
Golly, I would have loved, man. He was on his way. He might have been on his way to 50 and 11. I mean, because they kept giving the ball to him. Jose, Trey, they were like, hey, man, nah, you got it. You got it. Do your thing. We going to play defense.
yeah.
That
That
dude
was
balling, man.
he was, man. He was doing this thing in that game, man. He really was. Yeah. And both LeBron and AD in there, and They couldn't do
They were
nothing
both
with him.
on him too.
They couldn't do nothing with him. His
They
mind was
couldn't.
made up. He was unstoppable. See, that's the thing. Like when you talk about LeBron, the injuries that happened, the mindset that he had to go through the injuries, uh,
Mhm.
coming into the second year of the Atmore, uh, the weight loss that you've seen, a very thin and slimmer Zion Williamson, which is very terrifying thought because they're really trying to misdirect you. The media is trying to really misdirect you what's really going on. Zion didn't have any issues during the off season. He was able to train. He lost weight, so he's going to hit the floor running. There was no restrictions on him. He goes into the season how he is, and that's a terrifying thought to have a more in shape, like probably the best version
Yeah.
shape that you ever seen him in. Plus the fact that they were having difficulty staying in front of him when he was a little heavier. What
Yeah.
does this guy look like? And with that being said, him moving forward, how many games does he play? Maybe this is the guy you see go that full length and into the playoffs. And if that's the case, if Zion's there in the playoffs, and you guys CJ and all these, Murray and Bi, if he's still he probably won't be here at the time, but still in all, you have Trey and all these guys here. But it'll be a very interesting proposition. The team has to play through him and him making himself in the best shape of his life. This is a terrifying thought to the NBA. So they can talk all that crap they want about Zion Williamson. In the end, they couldn't stop him when he was heavy. Imagine what he looks like now.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. It's like, man, you all are looking at things so negative, man. Like, dog, when he does get in shape,
Man,
like y'all couldn't stop him out of shape.
right.
Like for real, man. Like, get a clue. Like it's coming. It's coming. It's been a long road. I think all the ebbs and flows that Zion has been going through. And really, I just feel like, it seems like in some ways, it almost seems like he's kind of had to figure it out on his own. Because, like I said, him coming into the organization, pressure was taken off of him. No, the vision was not to keep that pressure on like it was at Duke. And that was the worst. That's the worst thing that you can do to a player, especially when he's a number one draft pick. He was built for the pressure. He was built for it. Don't rescind it. Support it. You got to cultivate that stuff. You got to encourage that stuff. Because that's what the team needed, but it wasn't. But I saw a comment that Stacy wrote. I'm telling y'all, Griff's stuck on moves right now. He's been stuck. Check this out. The DeJounte Murray move wasn't even his move. Like, what you mean by that, Lex? Go back to the presser. He'll tell you. But if you don't go back, I can tell you right now. He said that Rich Paul called him and told him to trade for DeJounte because that's his agent. That's DeJounte's agent. But Rich Paul told Griff that. He kept blowing his phone up, telling him, hey, you need to trade for DeJounte. I say that because, and Griff admitted that. He said that. That came from his mouth. So that right there tells you DeJounte Murray wasn't even Griff's move. Wasn't even Bryson Graham's move. It was Rich Paul.
Of course.
Of Clutch Sports.
Of course it is.
And I believe that's Anthony Davis's.
That's a man. That's
okay. I mean, yeah, Stacy. He's stuck. He's really stuck.
Until Chris Paul give him the next damn one.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it like I said, the trade that sent Anthony Davis side, that wasn't his trade. That wasn't his trade. That was Magic Johnson's trade that he originally had. They decided to go
Yeah,
back to less than one player, Kyle
yeah.
Kuzma.
Instead of Kuzma, yeah,
Yeah,
instead of Kuzma, it was Brandon.
right. So yeah, it's. But the thing is, like we kind of where we are right now in terms of where the roster of the team is. The only question I have is this team good enough to win? Before we turn the year, is this team good enough to compete? How good is this team? Now we have a lot of players, like there's 420 plus scorers in the starting lineup. If that's the starting lineup, Trey's off the bench, Jose's off the bench, Herb's off the bench, if that's the starting lineup. So you have 3 bona fide, really solid people off the bench if that's your guys.
Let's not be so politically correct.
that's
Okay. I
the
mean,
question.
'cause
But
man,
that's
I'm
the
ready.
question. The
I
question
want the
is,
direction and the vision to be right,
Lex,
man. I mean, what are
Lex,
y'all doing? What what
Lex,
what what are we doing?
Lex,
Are
is
we are
that's
we
we not we that's what we starting with. We're starting right. They're not listen, they're not going to trade BI. My stance is we can expect a trade, but realistically speaking, I don't think they're going to trade BI.
they can't keep them?
It's not going to be right away. But is this my thing is,
You know what? That's a huge the fact that they're waiting, like this dude is so do you know that this team has been delayed in their
yes.
movements?
Oh yes, yeah.
It,
I've
it's
seen.
it's just been delayed.
I've
And
seen.
it's like that's why you were in the position that you were in with JV. You went into the season and you did not reach an extension. This just happened last season, you all. Last season with JV. Went into the season, got to the trade deadline, they didn't do anything. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care about that second draft pick. JV walked. JV walked. And even when they went to Washington for that second draft pick, that was delayed. It was like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road. Like,
Well,
oh my gosh, something is wrong with y'all.
but see, that's what I'm saying though, Lex. I'm not anticipating them doing anything. Yet it's going to be delayed because they have to. It's my take is this, right? It's just where we are. Like, and even though it's not a perfect position, it's not an all-time bad position because we could still win with them because you're gonna have to win with them. Make them look better. BI plays well, then you're ultimately gonna have to trade them, and more than likely it'll happen. It's gonna happen between probably not now, but later on in the season, like perhaps toward back into December to February, somewhere in there, as he builds up statistics, stays healthy enough for somebody to want to take a chance at him. And even though they know they're not going to be able to pay him the $50 million, they still take the expiring contract. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
Teams do
And
this. They
I don't
chase players
I
with
think
on
that's
one-year
weird
expiring
too.
contracts. No, it's just what it is. They'll take a team that they're not going to do it now. But as the season goes in and teams find out where they are, and as we get closer to that January, February marker, teams are going to understand because we're going to know that February is not mid-February, it's February 6th, early February, when the trade deadline strikes. So that puts December, and I'm looking at December and January in the time frame which you're looking at, where you got teams that could be looking at taking that expiring $36 million contract off his hands, and the Pelicans collecting whatever they get for him moving forward. My only concern is what kind of position are the Pelicans in at that time? Because we want to be positioned, standing wise, as in terms of wins, in the proper position. So when the trade hits, then we get whatever pieces we need from the trade to add to the team, and then we use that to push for the rest of the season into the playoffs. That's what my concern is. So I know right now we're gonna have BI for at least the next couple of months, and then I'll be looking for maybe something between December and January leading into February. That's my overall private mind process looking at the BI stuff. But I'm not, in my head making sure saying, yeah, Brandon ain't gonna be with the Pelicans now. My thing is, I'm just want to make sure they're winning and they're positioned standing wise in the proper place. That's what my concern is right now. I don't already graduated my mind from my thoughts from Brandon Ingram in terms of when the trade's going to happen, because it's too topsy turvy. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure out when
I
it's
haven't
going.
graduated with the coaching situation, so you a good one.
Well, like I said, he has help. Willie Green has a lot of help. He has a
Yeah,
point guard that has some
don't
experience.
mean nothing if you don't use it. You know
Oh,
what I'm
he got to
saying?
use.
Look, all the resources in the world, but I'm not gonna use them.
You got to use them. You got to use the John Terry.
Hey, hey, the Babylon Brook studio has something to say to you, Big Q.
Okay, what is the Babbling Brook? What's up, fam? That's a long ass name, brother. What you the Babbling Brook? What you record affirmations in that studio? What's going on over
Oh, dang.
there? So what happens when they re-sign BI? I'm just messing with you, Babbling Brook. What happens when they re-sign BI? All these talking heads will be eating their words. They re-sign them to what? The 50 million? Do you think the Pelicans will renege on their commitment to not pay him? You saying if they repay him, if they pay him what he wants? Answer that for me, Babylon Brook. I'm gonna just assume that's what you mean by that. If they do that, then I would be surprised by it. I would be one of the talking heads, because I was one that said, man, I don't think they're gonna give him that kind of bread. You know, nobody wants to give him that kind of bread. And
Are we sure about that though?
I mean, not right now at 50 million. I'm saying the Pelicans was they
He's
can't.
not the Pelicans are. I think they're determined, because you got to think
He
their
said
luxury tax is speaking a whole lot louder.
he said he thinks they give him a little less, and he accepts it. A little less will be what, 45 million or whatever the case may be.
I don't even. You know what?
I don't think they need to give BI. Listen, I don't give BI the time. Listen, fam, I'm in Lex. I want you to chime in.
Hey, you see where his stock is around the league right now?
Right now, it's not very good.
Exactly. So even what he's getting paid in this last year, he may not be worth that. I'm just saying.
Stacey
Because
said
no
Charlotte,
one,
Detroit. When I
no
don't
one
think
is trying to
Detroit not
pay
gonna
that
get
right now.
right now. They ain't right now. We talking about right now, family. Right now, ain't nobody paying BI 50 million. If somebody wanted to pay BI 50 million, I'm pretty sure the Pelicans would pull the trigger on the move. But that's not happening right
now. Nobody's gonna pay a dude who has problems shooting threes, and it's a shooter's league. And please understand the definition of what it means to be a shooter, okay? Because it has changed. It does not mean mid-range. It means shooting behind the arc.
Right.
That's like if somebody asks, hey, man, you got a shot? They ain't asking if you have a mid-range. That's not a shot. A shot is shooting from behind that arc. That's what that means. So the thing is that came from Brandon. He struggled as far as doing what they asked him to do. He admitted that in his exit interviews. It was a struggle. He said that. So, I mean, you talking about wanting, like, because if he really wanted his money, it's like, Brandon, why didn't you buy in, dude? You know, why didn't you do? And I think it's funny because we all know Zion. You know, a lot of people got on him for, because he came out and said, "Hey, I'm trying to buy in." Right.
Right.
We remember that
He
interview.
did say that. He did say that.
He came out and he was upfront with the public. You know what I'm saying? And it was never, and everybody like focused on, oh, Zion, he ain't buying in, he ain't doing this. But guess who wasn't voicing that during the season? I mean, Brandon wasn't voicing that. And it was him who wasn't buying in the whole time.
But that's the thing, the elephant in the room about Brandon Ingram. Let's not pretend. Brandon Ingram sees himself as a major player in this here league. He sees himself as that. And the reason why is like he was a top one of, what was he, a number 2 overall
Number
pick?
2 pick. Yep.
Yeah, number 1 overall pick for the Lakers. So he was a guy that was, brung in to be a star, a leader of somebody's team. When he got traded to the Pelicans, the idea was, he was supposed to, be a combination player in terms of working with Zion Williamson, who was perceived to be the superstar of the team because he was chose first overall. BI was number 2 with the Lakers and got here via trade. Pelicans took Zion over, number 1. He's the franchise face of the team. Well, the franchise face of the team got hurt and kept getting hurt. Well, BI stepped in and became the top guy for some time, not just a handful of games. I mean, he was the top guy leading the team when Zion was sitting on the bench or rehabbing. So now he still feels like, man, I done did this. I done felt like I was an all-star, man. I needed to get my bread. But right now, we talking about right now. Ain't no team giving BI $50 million as of right now. Now, if you talking into the future, yes, anything possible because the money eventually going to go up. It always goes up in the NBA. So we talking about 50 million right now would be a steal tomorrow, right? So, I mean, but as of right now, there's nobody paying this man this kind of money right now. They're not. If there was, I'm pretty sure the Pelicans would ultimately have worked out an agreement to get him out of here because they won't pay him. And the reason why is like, why don't we pay him and then make BI because the time has passed. Like he had an allotment of time to see how far the team can get along. And the only reason why he's here right now is because of his money demands and the fact that the Pelicans haven't found a suitor. And David Griffin is then brainwashing everybody to believe that hey, this is the best move for the team. It's just bring him back. He wants to be here. We want him to be here. Never mind the fact that the only way he stays here is if you pay him.
Yeah.
He wants to get paid. You're going to, because it's all a bunch of BS. So that's why I'm not focused on the BI thing because they can't even keep it real. They can't even tell it. They're not even keeping it real, man. This is an uneasy alliance is what this is. And he's telling you, well, he wants to be here. He wants to be a Pelican. And they're telling you, we want him to be here. But the money is the ultimate factor. Either pay me or not. Well, they're not going to pay him, right? So this is an uneasy alliance. So what BI is going to do, he's going to play out this agreement. And there's only 2 ways this is going to end. Either he gets traded to another team that takes his expiring contract because he can't refuse where they're going to send him. He's going to get sent somewhere for whatever package the Pelicans can come up with. And more than likely it'll be a team who wants to accept this expiring deal so that it goes off their books, or the Pelicans keep him on the team, get nothing for him except for the expiring value of the contract. The guy behind him is Trey Murphy III, who's already here. The Pelicans spent a first round pick on him.
Trey's not being talked about enough. It's like,
they're putting him to the back burner.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's happening, you all. It's like
the point, Lex. The talking point is that's what they're saying.
Trey Murphy is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, he is a willing 3-point shooter already. And he has synergy with Zion because with Zion's gravity, if he's creating that much space, that means Trey has all that space to shoot the ball, so, but, are we trying to develop and give Trey Murphy those opportunities to really flourish into the player that he's supposed to be? Just throwing it out there. And, Brandon's what? Brandon's in year 9? Is this year 9 or year 10?
I think it's 10, if I'm not mistaken. Let me count them up here.
Because Trey Murphy's up for an extension, and this organization is cheap.
Yes,
so even if it's not, you're not? Okay. So even if it's not about, if you just put aside the game from a business standpoint, it's not feasible unless you're making a decision between Trey Murphy and Brandon Ingram.
See, that's the thing that people are doing. They're saying BI is better than Trey Murphy right now. That's not the point, is what I'm trying to tell the family members. That's not the point. That's not the point. People are saying, yeah, but BI is better than Trey right now.
It doesn't matter. It's about fit, people. It's not about, come on. Like that's just like in a series, man. Like in a series, it's about matchups. It's about matchups. All that stuff on paper, like we've seen that many a times. If you really know basketball and you dissect the game, you'll know that it's about what players fit around each other to maximize the whole team. That's what this thing is about. So there's no argument whether you feel like Brandon is better than Trey or vice versa. It's about fit. Who fits better? And if you can look at a lot of teams do that. It's like, man, haven't you ever asked yourself, man, why did they trade this player? Why did they do that? But then they insert another guy and it's like, wow, it's like this dude is better, but this guy right here, he fits better within this system. He fits better in with these group of players. It happens all the time.
It's crazy how they pick up on it. The Pelicans drafted Trey Murphy for his shooting ability because they felt like he would be a good option to have with a guy like Zion Williamson that commands double and triple teams. So if you have shooters positioned around him, then that makes the game easier because he will collapse. He will collapse defenses. They have no choice. They can't single cover him. So guys have to double and sometimes triple team him, leaving guys wide open. That's the philosophy that we see happen what the Pelicans are using. But it's not the point of a decision between Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy. That's not what's going on here. Of course, B.I. at this point of his career is better than Trey. He's been in the game longer. He's more developed in many aspects than what Trey Murphy is. But that's not the freaking point. The point is they can't afford to pay both of these guys, and one guy wants $50 million, the other one don't, and they can't pay it. That's the point. That's the point of all of this. So it's a moot discussion about who's better. Right now, the Pelicans can't afford to pay Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy, and to make a decision to pay Brandon $50 million. Right now, Brandon has not said anything about relenting, paying 50, or them saying, "Listen, I'll take a little bit less just to stay." If he really loved the Pelicans, wouldn't he give them a hometown discount? If he really loved them, want to be here, why is he having a hardcore stance on 50? If he really loved being down here, he would give him where the hometown discount at? For all this goddamn love. There ain't no love. If he wants his money, taking a hard stance about it, he's not playing. The only thing they can do is trade him. And in the octopus, for whatever it's worth, said that we've seen enough. We've seen enough of this experiment. We've seen enough. And the only reason why B.I. is back is because he couldn't get rid of him. He couldn't get rid of him. So he got to spin it. Like, oh, he's back because we want him because we just love each other so much. Man, come on, man. It's not about that. They drafted Trey Murphy. They ain't mess up on that. And then comparing the guy, a 9-year player versus what? How long Trey been in the game for? Like 3 or 4 years now? Well, how long has he been in the game?
It's coming up on 4 because it's his contract extension.
So there you go, man. Come on, man. What kind of what we talking here, man? That's not even a good comparison, fam. That's not a good comparison. That's not a good argument that we should keep B.I. because B.I. is better than Trey. They can't freaking afford him, man. That's the truth. That's the fact of the matter. That's why we stuck here. They can't afford him.
And the Pelicans been cheap.
They can't afford him. The octopus, if you don't, and I don't trust the octopus, listen, whatever his word worth, he told y'all that. Are we seen enough of the experiment? We seen enough of whatever it was. What are we talking about? He's talking about the B.I. and Zion experiment. We seen enough of it. He had to make a decision on which player he was going to go to be the star, the runner of the team. He made Zion. It's Zion's the focal point of the team. So if that's the case, and B.I. wants 50, got a hard line stance on $50 million a year, Pelicans said, no, what we talking about? It's not an argument between Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy. At this point, it's only time before the Pelicans trade him or he plays out his contract here. That's the only 2 spaces we're going to. If he really loved the Pelicans, he'll give him a hometown discount. Ain't no love here, man. Ain't no hometown love here. And I'm talking about he would have to give him a lot cheaper discount than $5 million. So, I mean, in the end, man, they can't afford the man and his demands, and it's time to move on, bro. We'll find something else to work. That's just where we are right now. That's the truth.
So I do have a question for the chat. So, because I know some, I guess, some people disagree and everything, which is cool. I mean, I'm all for that. That's sports and everything. But do you all feel like the Pelicans should run it back with just everybody? I mean, obviously, what it's looking like, they're going into the season with him right now. But y'all cool with that? You all really think that, Zion and Brandon really have a connection?
It's, man, I've seen them play together, Lex, and they had some games where they were actually flowing, but that was far and few in between in my book from what I've seen.
You know what I always say, Big Q? You as good as your last hit.
Yeah, that's the point.
And I'm looking at the last hit as far as the chemistry and the connection that Brandon and Zion have. And it's not there. I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but remember when a specific person that he said the best freaking duo in the league?
Willie was blowing smoke, man.
I mean, do you all see let me ask this. Do you all even see a duo with them within the last 3 years? Because that's under Willie Green's regime.
Yeah. I mean,
and you want to go on with both of them. I mean,
are they a duo now? Is it a duo?
I mean, is it a duo?
I don't think it's a duo anymore.
I look, I never felt like it never was this season. I mean, it was just as much as a duo as Zion and CJ. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
yeah, it's.
I mean, I'm just asking a question because I know I see the comments and everything, and I'm not shying away. I'm just asking questions, just throwing questions out there. I mean, think of all the duos in the league because they're supposed to be a duo, right? So, looking at all the duos in the league, where do they stand? I mean, do they even play off of each other enough to even, call themselves a duo?
I've seen a handful of games where I've seen B.I. and Zion got into the flow with each other, but it was never maintained. And if maybe the philosophy was to do,
that's the thing, it wasn't consistent.
Yeah,
it's not something that you saw every single night. When you look at LeBron and AD, how they play off of each other.
Yeah, but that's a point of emphasis through the offense. The two best players have to play off.
There's other duos, but
right. But that's a point of emphasis. Most duos play off each other because it's the philosophy and the mindset of the team. If the two best players feed off each other, more than likely,
pick and roll. Pick and roll.
Yes.
How many times did we really see Zion and Brandon, the two best players on the team? Antonio Daniels said it. Putting them two in an action. You know what I'm saying? How many times do we see that? It's almost like you can count on your hands.
Yeah, it ain't much. I mean, but I like I said, I've watched a lot of Pelicans games, man, and I've seen a few games where I've seen it, but more not than them doing it. But is that strictly because of them or the philosophy? Because when they were rolling in some of them games last year, and then, Zion was doing this thing and they were balling, then he would come out with a whole nother philosophy. So it was like Willie Green wasn't consistent enough to keep doing what worked. He would ultimately go away from it. I don't know why he would do that. Just poor coaching, no imagination, just inconsistent thinking. I don't know what in his mind would force him to rationalize not doing what worked over and over again until somebody stopped it, as opposed to you stopping it. There was times where I seen during the season where he would have Valanciunas balling and would go away from Valanciunas, even though some games Valanciunas would dominate in the paint, he would go away from him, literally helping the other team. So I don't understand what kind of block in his head or what he has in terms of memory to do that kind of stuff, which is just unfathomable. In my opinion, you're always supposed to do what works until the opponent stops you. Keep doing it, but that won't save his ass this year, because it's a high floor set that he has to reach. He has to. So he's coaching under pressure. He has the looming trade of a BI over his head. And let me address this right quick. The CJ thing, like trade CQ. One of the family members said, "Hey, Q, just trade CJ and pay the remaining monies to Brandon Ingram to keep." I'm like, bro, CJ McCollum has 2 years remaining on his contract, 33 and a third. No, and there's not even not a trade market for CJ McCollum, fam.
Really
Not right now. He got $60 million remaining on 2 years of his contract with the Pelicans. That's not a market right now for CJ McCollum, bro. There's that, if there's not a market for Brandon Ingram because of his $50 million demand, who wants CJ McCollum at $60 million over the next 2 years, this year and another year? He's not operating on an expiring contract. So I mean, that was a market that was an idea that you looked into the offseason. I don't know if the Pelicans were complicated enough to be looking at multiple ideas and trading multiple players. Like if I'm dealing with Brandon Ingram, I'm trying to trade, I get DeJounte out of the way. Let me see if I can focus on Brandon Ingram. It seemed like a trade by trade team. They're not complicated enough to have multiple players out on the trade market and ferreting out different values for each player. The Pelicans are a trade by trade team. Let me take care of this first, and then I'll take care of this, and then I'll take care of that. The man, CJ McCollum's contract, $60 million over the next 2 years. I don't know who's gonna pick that up. And then you factor in his age and all this kind of stuff. Nobody running to go and grab CJ McCollum from the Pelicans. Not this year. Maybe next year when he's under an expiring deal, because that's when they usually do it, when you get a month or so prior to the trade deadline. But man, we talked about that countless times here on the show about CJ McCollum. We talked about that all the time. So Pelicans are in a mode where they are right now. We have to be able to just play where we need to play. And it's on. Listen, fam, Willie Green has to figure this out. He has to coach and everybody going to be locked in on Willie Green. I told y'all the pressure high because a lot of these other guys, if the team fails, Griffin is not going to take the blame. He have one card. He have one card he got one card to burn, and that's Willie Green. And the potential coach. You don't even have to go look in the NBA to find a potential coach. The potential coach to take over the Pelicans is his assistant coach, James Borrego, who's looking for jobs last year. You can't see the setup.
That dude was running around. Shoot, Los Angeles, Detroit, Cleveland.
You can't see the setup. I can see the setup. That's why I was saying he coaching under pressure. That's why it looked like he was constipated. Look at that press conference. I said, man, Willie Green, you don't know what you're dealing with. You got an octopus. I kept telling him that, bro. You can't trust the octopus. That's why Trajan Langdon got out of town. Trajan Langdon was trying to find jobs. He 3 times the charm. He got Detroit. Willie Green sitting up there, trusting the octopus. Octopus about to squeeze all the ink out of his ass, because the bottom line is, if he don't get this team above 49 wins and into a playoff situation, it's going to be problems. Especially with Borrego on his back and the family members saying, man, we need to put some pressure. We need to do this. Willie Green, this is going to be his most pressure-based year, no doubt about it. So, Lex, what you think about that before we go into our grade the trade scenario?
Oh, let's grade the trades.
Okay, so I just know you got all the love in the world for Willie. I know you just wanted to kind of draw out some words of support for Willie Green.
Just Pelicans need a coach. Pelicans need a coach.
They got a coach, Lex. They got a coach.
No. I'm not talking about a title. I'm talking about the job description.
No, I'm saying they got a coach.
No. Come on now. I know you got that. I know you got that, man. Come on, Big Q. Hey, A lot of people have a title, but are they fulfilling the job
Yes,
description of that
yes,
title? You know
yes,
what
he
I'm
did.
saying? That's
He
what I'm
got
saying.
49 wins last year. 49 wins.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no, not no 49 wins. It's not good
Yeah, they
enough.
got to the playoffs. What they do there?
Well, that wasn't his fault. We had injuries.
What? Are you man? You trying to sound like? Oh my goodness.
That's
He
see,
couldn't
how
coach
the
then either.
that's
Look,
how
that's
that's
why
how
Brandon and him got into it, right?
that's how the
Hey, I
people
need you to
decide.
find me a way to give me the ball.
That's
You
how
gonna have to figure it out yourself, Brandon. You know
like,
what I'm saying?
that's that's how the people be sounding. They're like, well,
You know why? Because he's not a coach. Coaches help their players be like, you know what? I'm gonna run this play for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna run this play for you. We gonna get creative. We gonna have some imagination. That's what we gonna do. You know what I'm
Lex,
saying?
Lex, I got yeah, I'm at the
Hey, I'm just
I'm
saying.
a,
I'm
I'm a
just saying.
play.
Like,
I want you to sing,
dog, you couldn't even
Lex.
help nobody.
Lex, I want you to sing the song "Be Patient." I'm gonna send it to you.
No,
I want you to
huh?
you gonna sing the song "Be Patient."
I
What the
ain't
song I
gonna
play
be patient.
for you? No,
What?
no. The song, the "Be Patient" song I played for you.
Oh no, dog. No, I ain't gonna sing that. You man, please, man. Come on
Oh,
now.
come on, do I need to play it, Lex? We got to play to "Be Patient."
No,
Oh
no,
no. Okay, okay, there we go.
no.
All right,
I
okay.
look, I think all Pels fans have been patient enough.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right on that. You're
shoot.
right on that.
I'm not
You're right
trying to
on
think
that.
about being patient. Y'all better kick it to the next gear and play with an edge this year. You know what I'm saying? Like 2.0, maybe 10.0. You know what I'm saying? Look, regular season is where you build habits. And let me tell you something, the styles of the game changed during the course of the season. We need to master a style. Okay. We need to master a style. Okay. Because, and then build winning habits. Winning habits is not
Oh,
just blowing out a team, right?
well, Lex is getting into the fundamentals.
Hey,
Build
I'm
winning
just saying.
habits. Come on,
It
Coach Lex,
it
talk to
it's
us.
not just about blowing out teams. You're not going to blow out everybody. You have to win close games. When the pressure is on, you got to perform. That's when we'll know the identity of this team.
Yeah.
Like people throwing, hey, yeah, we won 49 wins. Yeah, had a top 10, top 6 defense. Yeah, where was that in the playoffs though? You know what I'm saying? Like
Mentality, man.
we didn't see it. Therefore, those numbers didn't even matter. They didn't matter. And
No,
the thing is, I'm also looking at not just the wins, I'm looking at how you're playing. I'm looking at the effort. I'm looking at the energy.
this is the thing too, Lex, because we talked. That was a constant point of emphasis throughout all of last year. Of course, the theme song, "Play with an Edge," um, choose violence,
Yeah.
being consistent,
Yeah.
fundamentals, hitting your free throws at a high clip,
Yeah.
intelligent basketball, high IQ basketball. Uh, point of emphasis. And last year, like 49 wins, and the thing that kind of put a bad taste in people's mouth is how the Pelicans literally burned out toward the back end of the season, where the defense that was a staple for many of the games, they faded away. Like you seen them lose to the Spurs, you seen them lose to the Lakers twice. You know, one of the other game, the playing game,
You
we
know
should
what? It seemed like the
they were
losses were just bad.
well,
Like
they
they
were
they made you feel kind of like uncomfortable.
well, because they were heartless. A lot of the losses with
Yeah.
low IQ losses when game time happened, they would it's
No violence.
they didn't
You know what I'm
believe
saying?
in
I
they
mean,
didn't play with
no sense of urgency. And
a
it's funny
top.
because they talked sense of urgency, and it's like, can y'all stop talking about it? Like, you gotta see the urgency. You
Yeah,
gotta see it.
yeah. But see, that's the thing that Willie Green, like that's where he has to change his game. So they bringing in DeJounte Murray to fix the 0-22 or 0-23, whatever the mark was within losing that many games, like being literally. I mean, it was if the Pelicans wanted to find out what was wrong with them in terms of that, that was a clear indication. Like that required no thought in figuring out that. So they looked at it, says Murray will control, he would help control in that aspects of those games to see who gets the ball. Well, Willie Green should be chastised and CJ McCollum and BI when they take foolish shots in the clutch time moments, just heaving up shots as opposed to going with the more intelligent plays. That's when coaching is supposed to. You're supposed to stand up there with your fucking arms crossed, Willie, while these people shooting the ball before the players develop. If they don't want to listen, sit them on the bench. Because you, the coach, you have to take more of an onus there. Now that you got Murray there, maybe he kind of helps them with that. But in the end, y'all might just very well get your wish on Willie Green, because the reality is if he doesn't live up to the 49 wins and the Pelicans don't make it in the playoffs, man, that's going to be difficult, man. That's going to be difficult because with Zion Williamson and
27.
Right. If he goes backwards here, he could very well, the pressure could very well mount to get rid of him. It's an unforgiving landscape. And plus you got James Borrego there, who's already there, who we know would run the team like we want him to win, run. It'll be a free flowing team with an offensive strategy, because we don't know what kind of philosophy the Pelicans have. We haven't established the switch. We know he like to switch all crap and all this kind of nonsense, but shoot 43s a game. We know what Willie Green says there, but specifically the mindset and the overall template of what the team believes in, Pelicans ID is lacking. They have to establish that. Really, they do. Which a lot of this stuff that they've been saying, like who's the top guy on the team, and guys don't want to say whose team this is for, even though we're saying it's Zion Williamson's team. It's Zion's team. They don't even want to give you that.
And it's really sad because really, as much as Griff wants to come out and talk, he hasn't pointed that information out.
He won't, because
he refuses to. He's really beating around the bush, and reporters have actually asked that question. Like they were direct with it. A few of them were a couple of different times. And he's just like this, having that little smirk, turn his head to the side. And he's just avoiding, like, a team is not built around one star. Really? I'm saying? Like, you have many stars. I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, you're just in denial. But I mean, it's really, it's not just that. There's a lot of variables that tie into all this stuff. And we clearly see that, look, you can have all the talent in the world. You can have the availability of Zion with 70 games, Brandon with 64 games. You can have all that availability, but it doesn't matter if you're not putting guys in positions to succeed. If you're not putting guys in positions to be maximized, to reach their full potential. And that helps the team. And I think that's been the biggest thing. This guy does not know how to put this talent together. And that is very concerning to me, which in fact brings us to DeJounte Murray, because he is going to have to be a coach on that floor. And I feel like he's going to have to be a coach off it too.
Nah, I don't think so. Maybe, like I said, I'm gonna have to differ with you on that. And the reason why I differ is because they're bringing him in here to be a floor general, so that is the coach on the floor. Off the floor, he has discussions with Willie Green. This is the thing: floor general and the coach have to be on the same page, philosophy and otherwise. He will, Willie will let him know what he wants to do, how he wants to run it, and of course they're gonna work together to make sure they get the most out of it. That's the bottom line. I don't think Willie gets in the way of progress. That's been the issue with the Pelicans last year. Who gets the ball at what time? And then they didn't consistently stick with Zion Williamson getting your seats. Brandon Ingram bringing it up, Herb Jones bringing it up, Najee Marshall bringing it up, CJ McCollum bringing it up. It was a major problem. Like who gets the ball at what point of time?
Look, when Jordan Hawkins plays, Jordan Hawkins plays.
I'm telling you, who's supposed to bring it? It was a mess. And
Like,
they
dang, dog.
still
Like,
won
what are you doing
49.
having Jordan Hawkins?
Right.
He don't even play a whole lot, but
Right.
you
He
have
bringing
him
the
bringing
ball.
the ball up
But still in all, listen, they still won 49 games with all that messed up ass who bringing the ball up, this guy bringing the ball up.
because of the talent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now that you have more of an organized team and control and this floor general who's handling the ball, he's supposed to help, not totally get rid of all of the issues they had last year for maybe out
I'm
of this.
really hoping that he pulls a Peyton
Alex,
Manning and he's
uh,
calling audible. You
like,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you got CJ McCollum.
Like, dog, just run the team, dog.
If you
Like,
have,
dog, we ain't running that. We
but
ain't running that. That's dumb.
if
All
we have,
right, we gonna run this play.
let's say we had Murray last year
I see something different.
in the 22 or 23 losses during clutch time. How many wins do the Pelicans get? That's a question for the chat. If you have DeJounte Murray last year, when we were in the clutch moments of the 0-22, 0-23, whatever it was, losses, how many of those wins do the Pelicans get if Murray is your point guard on the team during those clutch moments, the 0-22?
JB still on the team?
Everything's the same. We got Murray here. You still have a center, wherever the center may be. Let's put DeJounte, put Murray in the position of the point guard. He got the ball. How many games do you win at the 0-23? Do you win half the games? Even if you win 10 or 12 games.
This one thing is definitely more than not.
That's what but see y'all hitting that. Look, who that daddy says. I said we win most of them, Q. Even if you won half of those games.
I mean, you clear 50 games.
But now that's what I'm saying here.
And you have more of an identity because the ball is not, you're not playing differently every night.
Now you got more consistency.
Do we hear what Willie said in the presser?
Forget that. Listen to
what
I'm
saying. We can't forget that. He said it. He's like, we're gonna put it in DeJounte's hands, and it's gonna be in Zion's hands, and
that was
gonna be in Brandon's hands.
That was
That's what he said. And it's gonna be in CJ's hands, and we're just gonna put the ball in their hands, and they're gonna make plays.
That's an off-season presser.
Can we go back?
We're not listening to that.
Said that.
We're not. And see, that's why I'm trying to get people to understand. See, I walked y'all right into that because that's
about the pick and roll.
No, listen, with Lex, we're gonna forget about all that right now. Listen, this is the whole thing.
But he's
listen, Lex.
Okay, all
this
right,
is what I'm saying. I'm saying this now. You heard what you said. Now we won 49 games last year, according to you, off of talent. They have to do with Willie's coaching. You wouldn't give him a coaching, but he won 49 games last year. The 0-23 or 0-22 in losses in clutch times. If you have Murray at your point guard, how many games do you win? Even if you win half those games, 10 or 11 games, that puts you well beyond 50, almost into 60. 60 wins with Murray there. It's a difference. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. When you talk about having him there, because he fits a lot of that. We're not asking him to win 20, be 22 and 23 and 0 there. All I'm saying is when you have a guy that knows what to do in the moments, in those clutch moments, that gets the ball to the right people, you can win games. And even if Willie Green is the same or a little bit incrementally better, which I say he will be because of DeJounte Murray, because this is the first time he had a guy as good as Murray as a point guard running his offense. Yes, it's going to be an improvement. It's going to be an improvement because he can be able to disseminate his whatever his thought process on offense to his point guard. The point guard can then translate it to the players or back to Willie and say, hey, listen, I think this will be a better usage of this player. You think Murray going to go after there and do something crazy? He was great. He was brung up by Popovich. Of course, he's going to talk to Willie about it, and they're going to help each other out there. They helping out the team. I don't see it like him educating Willie, whatever the case may be. I just want it done right. And I think those guys get it right.
It's going to be done right.
It's going to be done right. You just said so yourself.
How 49 games regular season?
But let me ask you this. How did
the playoffs?
How many games? How did the Pelicans win 49 games last year?
Off talent.
Okay, off of talent. So it had nothing to do with Willie.
Like
Willie's coach.
if you watch these games,
Follow up question. I just asked you.
what's the
Fo-
follow-up
Follow up
question?
question is: did Willie Green have anything to do with those 49 wins?
Maybe half of them. Maybe.
Okay, so in half of you gave him credit for half of the 49 wins.
No, I don't believe in credit. He was
Okay,
acting in the
so
place of a coach. I mean, it was a body there.
he is a coach.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a coach. So if you credit him, well, you're not giving him credit. Okay, if you
Yeah,
say,
I'm not doing that.
let's just say you give him,
He's just
he earned 24 of the whatever the wins, half to the 49 wins. Still caught 49. He still was the coach. Only one win that they got that he wasn't there because of the C-19. The rest of them,
you, man. What you doing, man?
I'm trying to put something together for you. I'm trying to show
No,
you.
you talking about regular. We talked about this.
I'm
Are you
saying,
going back?
no,
Are you going back? No, we talked about this, man.
no. I'm
And
saying,
the thing is, listen,
like,
that's what Griff and that's what they were selling. And see,
listen,
but that's the trick though. That's the
Lex,
trick.
listen
The
to me.
40 for
All I'm
the
saying is,
49 wins in regular season. Look, the playoffs is where you build something.
right, but I'm
It's not
saying
regular season.
you gotta win the regular season before you win the playoffs. That's the bottom line.
Yes, and it's
So,
building habits.
right.
During regular season, you're building winning habits.
So how many wins do the Pelicans get this upcoming year because of the acquisition of DeJounte Murray at the point guard position in your estimation?
I don't know. I
Come
don't
on.
know.
If he can win 49 wins, 48
I mean,
wins.
look, let me get to at least 24 games. Cause really, it's gonna have to be the players. When the pressure of being a coach is taken away from Willie Green, that's when the probability of winning is higher than not. I know that's kind of crazy. Anybody can win in a blowout game when you don't have to coach. Keep running. You know what I'm saying? It's a blowout.
But it's
It's a
because of
blowout, man.
his
There's
coaching.
not a lot of coaching. There's not a lot of timeouts.
But Lex, you can't subtract the man's contribution in setting whatever the environment is for him to get 49 wins. Because it couldn't have been that. If it was a really bad environment, they would have got severely less and missed the playoffs like some of these other teams. You get what I'm saying? So even though he's not like Willie Green is not a top 20 coach in the NBA, we know that he's a bottom 5 coach and he has to establish himself. But let us not, like I'm saying, he's in his 4th year as a head coach with a point guard that can help get everything right on the floor at the right moments at the time. I say that's a plus. Now, I'm not saying Willie Green's going to turn into Phil Jackson or anybody else. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Murray helps where it hurts. Did you get that? Okay, we're going to move on because Lex, I think our picture froze. She is not hearing me, man. She's not.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
She just literally froze on me. She was like,
man, when you
are you serious? That's the look she gave me. Like,
hey, when you have a coach that really knows the game, that feels the game, the vibe of the game, and all that stuff, man, it makes a huge difference. It elevates. It really elevates the game. Like when you look at the way that the players are playing, can you actually say through what's that dude's name? Willie Green, through his coaching.
Seriously?
That he's elevating or he's really boosted the potential of the players.
Listen, I think he helps. I think he does help them to a degree. I don't think he's perfect though. I think he got a lot to be determined. Willie has some motivational things that he does. He's not a trash ass coach. Like he's not a top 20 coach. He's like a top, he's a bottom 10 coach. And the reason why is because he has obvious flaws in his game. Like he doesn't have a feel for the game. He's
You
slow
could have
as
said bottom too.
I'm gonna say bottom 10 because you could probably play somewhere. He got a lot of stuff. I had to go through the laundry list of
JJ
things.
Redick being number
Right.
30.
Well, I think he'll be better than him until Brady got to show me something before I could say anything.
That's why I had him at the very bottom.
Right. He talked some shit, but but
Well,
let's
I mean,
at least we seen
there's
Willie
some
Green
other
actually.
things that help with that.
But the whole thing is with Willie Green is like we know the dude need to do something better. He needs to improve as a coach. So for those people who do not like Willie Green, this will be the year in which you see he has to do a good coaching job. Having Murray helps more. It helps where we hurt last year. Now, did the team overall improve? You got another 20-point score. It didn't cost you nothing but a bunch of role players. And then if you have the lineup that ESPN is running with Tice as the center and CJ McCollum at 2, that means that Herb Jones joins Jose and Trey off the bench.
That's
Jordan
right.
Hawkins, other one. So I mean,
First team all defense.
I hate
We're gonna reward you by you coming off the bench.
for CJ McCollum making $33 million.
How this politically correctness.
Hey, it's all about the money. It's what the money is. You have to justify the money.
Yeah, I know.
You got to justify.
That's why we look. I'm trying to move. You know what I'm saying? Move some of the money. You know what I'm saying? So the team can really elevate like it should, as well as remove some people in the front office.
We kind of stuck with some of these guys for right now, man. But let's get into this article right here, man. Because all this Willie Green truth is too much for a lot of people to handle right now. So we're just gonna keep it moving. All right,
truth shall make you free.
Yes, indeed. It'll free Willie to the unemployment line if you don't get his shit to straight. That's all I'm saying. It'll get Willie to the unemployment line if you don't get this team winning. All right, Pelicans urged to consider blockbuster trade with Nuggets. We move into our grade the trade side of the show, fam. I want y'all to grade this trade in the chat. I know some of y'all probably seen this article. For those who didn't, here's a look at it right here. 24-25 season is coming up quickly. With that in mind, teams are running out of time to make roster moves. One team to keep an eye on could be the Pelicans. Ingram was heavily predicted to end up getting traded. At this point in the offseason, he's still with the Pelicans, but the two sides could come together and work out an extension. It seems likely that New Orleans will still be open to a potential trade if the right one came up. Bleacher Report has suggested the Pelicans could consider a blockbuster trade with the Nuggets. Their suggested trade, New Orleans, let me highlight this aspect, would send Brandon Ingram to the Nuggets in exchange for Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Naji, is that how you pronounce his name? Neji, and a 2031 first round pick that is a top 5 protected pick. That's the trade. Pelicans send Ingram to the Nuggets for Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Ninji, I hope I'm saying it right, and a 2031 first round pick. What do y'all think about this? Grade the trade. A, B, C, D, or F. Put it in the chat. Let me know. Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Nunji, and a 2031 first round pick that is a top 5 protected. Stacy said I would take it. What do you guys think? All right, so we know what Brandon Ingram averages. Let's see why this trade would happen. Let's give a little background. The Pelicans would be losing a little bit of scoring potential, but they would be adding much better 3-point shooting, which could be a better fit along with Zion, DeJounte, and CJ. Because Michael Porter Jr., let me see if I can see what Michael Porter Jr. statistics are. Hold on, let me bring up Michael Porter, his stuff right. Let me see if I can bring him up, his scoring right here. 6'10", 218. Top 14 pick back in 2018. And this is Michael Porter Jr.'s numbers right here. Almost 17 points a game, 7 rebounds, 48% from the field. And he shot last year for the Nuggets, what was it? Almost 40% from downtown. The previous year, 41.4. And that's not even best total. He shot in 2021, he shot 45.5%. So he shoots it high. He's a career 41% shooter from downtown, 6'10", small forward Michael Porter Jr. Grade to trade. Would y'all guys take this trade? Let me know. Ingram for Porter Jr., Zeke, and the 2031 first round protected top 5 pick. Hoffa says it's a F. Stacy said he would take it. Who that Daily says something beats nothing. I say C. All right. Louisiana boy says C for Pels, but BI perspective, it's an A. All right. Hoffa says F, no center. I ain't trying to see another wing to start over Trey. Good point on that. What's up, brother? Strider says, wait, you can waive and then re-sign a player. Never seen that before, especially. Okay, he was just talking about Ryan, Matt Ryan. All right, brother Slim says it's a D. Trade BI to the Eastern Conference. Stacy seemed like the only person that kind of likes to trade, giving it a high A mark there.
Slim, you're going to have to be more specific than that, man. The Eastern Conference is, you know what I'm saying? Who, where?
Came in late. Now we have to grade the trade, Strider. Grade the trade. The trade is A, B, C, or D, or F for this trade. Michael Porter Jr., Zeke. Let me see if I can pull up Zeke.
Who is Zeke? Because I'm not familiar with that dude. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, who is this dude? What position does he play?
He's listed as a power forward, 6'9", 240 pounds. He averaged, let me put him on screen. There you go. 3.2.
Oh, yeah, I remember that dude.
Yeah.
He's like he kind of has a game kind of like Clint Capella. He really runs the floor well. Cleans up around the basket.
Could he be a small 5 for you?
You can't teach height, when we, talking about the
6'9",
better
6'10". That ain't bad. It's 240. That's pretty solid. What you think?
Yeah, let's see, the 7'6" stuff it's really, that's a big difference there.
We don't care about no height down here, Lex. You know that.
Okay, I hope he has a mean wingspan and he can jump. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like it, huh, Lex?
No, I mean there's pros and cons to it. But one thing I will say is that the Pelicans will be getting champions. No, I mean that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to win, right? Especially in Porter Jr. There's a lot of times there's a difference in how you play once you win a championship. So that would be nice to have on the team because, I think even when Rondo was on the team, didn't he make a difference when he was on the Pelicans?
Oh, yeah.
His presence.
Yes, indeed. Big presence, man.
So, I mean, and I know he was a point guard, but still, being a champion, it does make a difference, especially if you actually had, what's the word I'm looking for? I just had it. You played a major part in winning the championship. I'm not talking about just, hey, I set the bench, like, somebody like John Sally or something.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like he actually played.
Yeah, he was a contributor there. Yeah.
Yeah, major contributor.
Yeah, he turned.
I think that's a huge plus for the team.
Yeah, he did. Rondo was everything to that Pelicans club, man. I remember him literally running that team, and I remember Elvin Gentry would try to tell him, "Hey, do this or come here," and he would wave them off.
He a player.
Institutions. He would wave them off in substitutions, stuff like you saying that Dejounte Murray gonna do Willie Green. That's what Rondo was doing. Elvin Gentry. That's what he was doing. I mean, Elvin Gentry was, come on here. He was like, let me stay out here. Or he would be on the bench and he would say, come on, Rondo. And Rondo said, no, let them play. They're doing good. That's what kind of stuff you're saying that Murray gonna do Willie Green. That's what you're saying. So gonna be out.
What'd you say? What you talking? No.
No.
Try to say Lex, they had that mindset with coach from Golden State Warriors for 5 years and it didn't turn out good. But
you gotta have the people
defense.
You gotta have the people at the right position.
Yeah. And you do have to have the right personnel.
Right.
That makes a huge difference. Yeah, it's not just about, and that was a coach, I'm talking about players like they're out on the floor.
Player
with
coach.
a championship mentality.
Oh yeah. But that fits for Rondo. No, that's what I just said. Rondo was waving off Gentry. Like Gentry would call him, when he was on the floor, tell him to do something or call him to come in, come sit on the bench, get some minutes, and Rondo would wave him off. When Rondo would be sitting on the bench and Elvin Gentry wanted to bring him in the game, Gentry would say, come on, and Rondo would say, no, let them stay playing, they're doing good, let them stay. And then that's what he did, because he had a better idea of what was going on. Elvin Gentry was half drunk half the damn time. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad you said something.
So, but that's like what you guys. That's what I was saying. That's what you're saying, that Dejounte Murray's going to do Willie Green. He's just going to be waving off his stuff and stuff like that. That's what you guys are saying that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to.
Once you're on the court, man, I think really what Willie Green needs to be more concerned about is, hey, when there's a hard foul on your star player, let alone any of your players, be all in on the game, okay? If you're truly invested in the game, and back your players up, and not think about come out saying, "Oh, I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket." Like, dog, that's a horrible coach. I'm not even making as much money as you, but best believe I am going to back the living snot out of my players if they're being hit out there, because that's my job as a coach. You got to have your players back. They playing their butt off for you. I'm just saying, like, that's something that you need to do. I mean, Rahakovic, he did it. He did it. His eyes were big. This big crap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, it's okay for you to back your. I'm not saying he has to do it just like him, but, back your players. And let me tell you something. Your players will play even harder for you when they see that you're backing them. And that means more wins. That means perhaps maybe coach of the month, because he's only got one of those, and that was off the back of Zion, the guy that he don't really back up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's not a good thing to have, to command respect from the team when you're not willing to lose some money for them. That's a whole other thing.
And then the only time he'll do it, like get a technical next game, is if a reporter checks him on it. Hey, did you feel like I didn't see it? Like, come on, man. What are you talking? What are you looking at over there on the bench, walking around with your arms crossed?
Lexxah, he's seen
they got a jumbotron in the middle of the court. You didn't look up at it, talking about you didn't see it. And then you want to call yourself a holy man? Come on, man. It's right there. What are you looking at?
Make a good point, Lex, on that, man. I agree with you on that. You got to lose some money for him, especially if you see Zion falling down and getting hurt. That was just, I wanted to beat them referees.
Fouls too, man. I mean, Zion does need to, foul better.
Man, they knocking that man on his ass.
Where Barkley was trying to show.
I was a coach. I would have literally been cussing and fussing, and I would have definitely lost some money and maybe got suspended for a couple of games.
Yeah,
But that what was going on with the referees and the poor officiating of Zion Williamson was ridiculous and criminal.
it really
That was
was.
criminal for what they was doing. They were going to get him hurt, and it took if he had to get thrown out every game if it happened. That's what I'd have done to make sure that I'd bring attention because that's what it is. You got to bring attention to
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's how you.
You have to be
I agree with that.
consistent. And
Yeah,
they weren't consistent when bringing that attention to it. They were like, "Oh, we've been sending messages to the league." Yeah, behind closed doors. Sometimes you have to go public. Phil Jackson, he would purposely do stuff, pull stunts like that. He would say stuff about, fouls and different things. He did that on purpose. Popovich. And these are best coaches like in the history. Like they do that stuff purposely, like to send a message like, "Hey, you're going to listen to me." You have to have that attitude every single time, like literally like, "Hey, I don't care what y'all do, but you all are going to hear me out all the way out. This is a problem." But you can't just do it one time and be like, "Okay, well, we did it one time. Oh, we did it we're doing it once every 2 weeks." Like, what? No.
no,
Like, y'all
Lex.
gotta have some backbone, man. You gotta have some backbone.
Yeah, I can't respect that part of the game, man. You can't command those guys. If you see Zion Williamson hitting the ground as hard as we seen him last, could you imagine if that shit was done to LeBron James or anybody else's star player? Could you imagine that? That would his agent would be on the phone bitching and complaining with the league. He'd be pulling out all relationships he can to bring attention toward this. LeBron would be talking about it and all this type of stuff, and it
Yeah.
just went on and on and on. And the only way attention would have drawn to it if something horrible would have happened and he would have missed an extended amount of time because of one of the calls, a non-call that ultimately got him hurt. That would have brought attention to it in a negative fashion to the team. But yeah, that has to change, man.
You gotta train them. You gotta condition them. And the thing is, it's like when you look at other players around the league, they get that type of treatment.
Yeah.
They get it. So it's like, look, I mean, is this not a professional team? So other teams can do it, but if the Pelicans do it, oh, we don't want them to feel like we're crying about calls and everything. Man, bump that.
No,
isn't everybody getting paid?
That done passed. I remember Willie Green said that we haven't earned that yet. And that was 3 years ago.
And I don't like that statement. Like, this is, man, come on, man. With that mentality, yeah, like it's basically like, like let's just be quiet, be civilized, be professional, and approach them nicely with courteous words and speak life. No.
Speak life.
No. This is man, this is basketball. We're competing. We're not trying to speak in all that compassion and joy, all that stuff. That they need to throw that stuff out there, throw it out the window.
Change the banners.
Yes, they do need to change the banners, and one of them should say "Choose violence."
That never.
Look, hey man,
won't be choose violence. It'll be like choose force.
You know what? That violence will give them more winning habits. I guarantee you it. It really will.
Choose force.
Nobody is winning anything if you're playing nice. I'm just saying, like, especially if you're talking about an NBA championship. Who in the NBA championship in the history of the NBA was out there playing nice? Please tell me.
Who said the Force was nice?
Okay, this is not Star Wars. Okay, this is not.
Lex Willie says
Look,
choose Force.
pew, 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 pew.
No,
We're not doing that.
no, it's like that's using the Force. They moving stuff with
No,
that's
no. Look, we're gonna be more specific. We need violence. We need criminals.
Strider says the Force is what gives a player its power.
May the fourth be with you. You know what I'm saying? Fucker and fuckers. Nobody's. I don't believe in that force, man. I believe in. I don't even want the Detroit Willie. I don't, because that Detroit Willie, that ain't even Detroit.
Choose Force, Lex, not violence. Violence is the path to the dark side.
Hey, you know what is his name, man? Borrego. You know what he said, man, in that one game against Dallas. You know, in the locker room,
Yeah.
he said, "Speed and violence. Y'all had that tonight. Let's bring it in. Let's bring, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all he said. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody gets it. He said two things, okay?
Speed
Let's
and
bring it
violence.
in. One,
Yeah.
2, 3, team. Hit the showers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
Fast
in
and
here know,
Furious. 1, 2,
hey,
3.
you guys, we were together, you guys. We were together. And we really fought hard, and we got back in the game, and we were really clicking and just communicate. Man, come on, man. Speed and violence. Let's bring it in, guys. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes them speeches, I'm like, this is a nice speech. This
Lex,
is
listen.
too nice of a speech.
Lex, we're not calling you out. We're calling you up, okay? Okay, Lex.
The philosophy of
We're not gonna call you out. We're calling you up.
that ain't even his philosophy. Make up your own. Make up your own.
We're calling you up, Lex.
Philosophies are a mirror image of Monty.
We're not calling you out. We're calling you up. We're calling you up, Lex.
Oh my
Don't
God.
don't take the path, the dark side that leads to violence. Choose the Force.
Hey, only within the realms of the game.
Last time I checked, them Jedi's be kicking them other people ass. That's all I'm saying, Lex. Choose Force.
Hey,
Luke Skywalker.
Darth
Choose
Vader.
Force. Choose.
You know what I'm saying? Look, James Earl Jones. You know what I'm saying?
It's Earl Joe.
Look, there's a reason why I like that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Calling you up, Lex. We're not calling you out, Lex. We calling
I'd
you.
rather hear one of his speeches. You know what I'm saying? Man, his voice got a whole lot of power to it when he speaks.
Always talk. James Earl.
Yes.
That'll be cool, man. Having him coach.
It would. Oh, could you imagine him in the locker room?
Run the damn
man, the team would be running out like
play with
even
Force.
if you got Mike Singletary, man. Oh my gosh, with his big eyes.
Scary.
What? Looking at everybody. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're the reason why we lost the game.
All right, Coach Dale. All right, Coach.
Winners. Where are the winners at?
Don't want him. Don't want Coach him. Oh yeah, I remember all that, man. I remember we went off on your boy.
Making people cry. That's what we need. Man up, dog. Man up.
Will ain't making nobody cry, Lex. It's not going to happen.
I know.
All right.
Oh, I know.
All right, fam. Listen, I appreciate y'all for joining us tonight, man. As Lex was talking about the Force and the path to the dark side. Lex is trying to make everybody go to the path of the Sith. We're trying to keep the path.
Only within the realms of the game, the basketball game, people, not in life. You know
Play
what
with
I'm
violence.
Like you want to compete. You want to compete.
Right. What you said, Lex? for force and what you said, speed and violence. Bring it in.
Yeah, come on, bring it in, team.
Speed and violence. Bring it in, Lex.
Yes, man, they need to put that up on the board. Golly, that was powerful, man.
Yeah.
That's all
Man,
he said. Speed and violence. Let's bring it in, man.
yeah, that sounds like
Everybody
a
was
good movie,
like,
man.
yeah, let's go.
Cause we like to go fast. We like to beat the hell out of people. Oh yeah, bring it in. Yeah, that's it.
Do
Did
you
you?
remember that game though?
Yeah, that was
That game was mean.
yeah, that was yeah,
That game, I needed 81 more games like that.
that was the second Dallas game. I want to say it was. It was
Yeah.
the second Dallas game. Yeah,
And you already know what Jason Kidd was saying.
yeah, I remember that, Lex. I
Yeah.
remember that. We in trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he already knew
You know.
speed and violence.
yeah. He knew he was gonna. He thought he was gonna walk through old Willie. He got old Willie over there. He was gonna beat the brakes off Willie. But when he seen Borrego out there,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh shit, here we go."
Oh dang, we got problems. He already knew.
And he did have
But he
problems.
went to his team. You guys play the best you can.
That, and
Saying?
you know what people talk about? I see the fam saying, "Hey man, Borrego." Some people don't like Borrego. Listen, Borrego, that one game, that Dallas game, y'all,
Man,
because they played Dallas the game
Man,
before.
I
wanna
felt
say it
the
was the game
energy
before
up in that game.
that Dallas game where Borrego coach changed how they were
Yeah.
playing.
It was
Clearly
beautiful.
changed. Yeah, it clearly changed. Go back and watch that game, man. It clearly changed, and they were
Man,
playing.
they was out there running like racehorses,
Yep.
up and down that floor. I mean, getting it. Active on the defensive end. It's like, just
Yep.
it was beautiful basketball, man. Hey, like I said, we don't need to be nice. I name one team that was nice in the NBA championship.
Maybe after they beat the hell out of the other team, they was nice and they were like, "Yeah, nice job,"
That's because they went to Disney World.
Right? Yeah, that's the only time when you're supposed to be nice. They said nice guys finish last. Ain't that the saying? Stacy says, "What do you think about the trade?" Q. I think the trade. Man, I don't know, bro. I think the idea of the trade was most of these graded trades that we do. I think some of them be losing sight of the fact that I think if the Pelicans do trade Brandon Ingram, it's going to be for some a piece where they lacking, like a center position. Like some of these trades don't include like having a center there, and I think that's probably what the Pelicans would ultimately want, idealistically, to move BI for as a competent center. So they wouldn't have all these mismatch options. Disrespect to Yeebs, who's inexperienced, or Daniel Tice is not a full-time center, or Carlo Mekovic, who has no experience except for European experience at that level, and Trey Jemison, who's a 7-footer who probably won't see the floor because he'll probably be used exclusively as a G League player, or if injuries happen, they might bring him on to the team.
You know what's crazy about that though?
We have no idea. Go ahead, Lex.
Is that he was playing for the Memphis Grizzlies for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like he played a lot of NBA minutes.
You did.
And he was out there balling. He even gave the Pelicans fits.
He did. He played well against the Pelicans. He did.
So to come back into this situation and they just gonna send him down to the G League, it's like, dang. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies used him. I know it was because of injuries, but you did have this guy.
You're familiar, yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think that's kind of weird. It's like, why do you have these guys and you don't give them a chance? And Memphis gave him a chance, and he seemed to be doing well.
He did good with them.
Obviously, it's they didn't have, because all their starters were out.
Mm-hmm.
All Memphis' starters were out. So all those guys got opportunities to go up against the Giannis's, the LeBrons, the Stephs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got a chance to go up against those guys, and that's something that they wouldn't have gotten. And they did it for mainly half the season, because the second half of the season, that's when all the starters were out.
He did well for him. I got to give Trey Jemison that, and like Pelicans had Trey Jemison here before Memphis had him. But we
Yeah.
know he's a 7-footer that plays defensive. Yeah,
And we saw him in summer league.
yeah,
Remember last summer he was in summer league, and we were talking about him then. Like, man, like he
they
may
let him.
be able to, come off the bench for JV.
Right, because you needed somebody that can run the floor, but the Pelicans didn't have.
He hustles, he defends. It's like, give these guys, you know what I'm saying? And Miami does it all the time.
Different system, different
I know.
mindset.
I'm just saying, like, when you look at like a lot of the guys have gotten opportunities, obviously, they've gone to other places. I was about to say Stratus, but Max Strus.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys, they were in the G League. And Gabe Vincent.
mm-hmm.
And these guys played meaningful minutes in the finals.
Yeah.
They were G League guys, undrafted guys. And they finally got an opportunity. You'd be surprised when someone's hungry enough. You'd be surprised what comes out of them because they're extremely motivated. Like,
Right.
a lot of times those type guys are really dangerous because it's like, hey, man, I'm trying to get it.
Yeah, them. We'll see what's going on with the Pelicans with them, because a lot has to happen. We got training camp coming up soon, and the Pelicans have to figure it out, man, one way or the other, to get it all together. A lot of pressure on Willie, man. So Willie, we calling you up, brother. We calling you out and calling you up, right, Lex? Lex is calling you out.
Calling you to move on.
Lex don't like him.
Look, what's that ludicrous song?
That's the one Jameis was singing. We can't say that. She's telling Jameis was in Derek Carr's face, telling him to move, bitch, get out the way. How about that? I was like, that's how I knew Jameis
I'm
was.
gonna hit the highway.
Jameis was in Derek Carr's face, telling him to move. You know what? I was like, Jameis is going crazy, man. He was literally rapping the song. I gotta find that right quick, fam.
Okay.
He was in Derek Carr's face last year. Y'all remember? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that, man. James was saying, "Move." You know what? I can't. I'm probably take me a little while to find it, man. I'm gonna have to bring it back at another time. James is in Derek Carr's face.
No hard feelings, we just need more violence, man. We have too much of the same personality, or that horrible statement, good human beings on this team. I'm tired of these human beings. Tired of it. Look, can we play this game with a little bit more violence, please?
We're gonna be all right this year, Lex. We got Murray here. You know, Murray a dog. He got a dog mentality. So that's
he's an ex-criminal.
There you go. Yes.
He's a matured. You know what I'm saying? He's grown, but hey, he hasn't lost it. He didn't forget where he came from. You know what I'm saying? Bring that, DeJounte. Bring that, dog, because this team needs it. These dudes are too calm, cool, and collected.
Yes, we got that. That's what I'm talking about. All right, fam. So we're gonna get ready to dirk out on that. Listen, man, we appreciate y'all for chiming on this episode of PPR, man. Listen, man, we talking at you, man. We're gonna be back later on in the week to go at some more Pelican talk, man. This is 2 hours, man. A good dialogue right there. Learning more about our head coach Willie Green. And Lex dropping some game on Willie Green. Giving ideas of what signs to put up on the
drop game on other topics. Big Q.
That's right. Talking about all kind of topics on the show today. And Willie Green.
Don't start talking about Griff. That's gonna be another hour.
Oh my goodness! Don't make that'll be another hour
Look,
just me talking about Griff.
and Lucius Lauscher, that's gonna be another. And
Man,
then, and then,
Lucius Lausches.
and then Sister Gail, that'll be another hour.
Isn't the man named Dennis Lauscher? Lucius Lauscher.
Look, Lucius is his middle name.
I don't think he got a middle name, Lex. Yeah, Lucius Lausches. Okay, there you go.
All right.
I think the man named Dennis. I think it's named Dennis. I just want to take a stab at it. I think it's Dennis Lauscher.
Oh, goodness
I
gracious.
could be wrong. It could be Lucius. That sounds better. Lucius Lausches.
All in all, we want the team to be the best possible, man. I mean, you know, this team has not been up to par. And I'm not just talking about, you know, the last few years, but I'm talking about for a long time, man. The team's got, the organization has to step it up.
Yep.
Stop having a small market mentality and have a big market mentality. It can be done. Just because you're a small market doesn't mean that you have to think small.
It is. With that being said, we're going to leave you with that powerful word of the night, man. Listen, we're going to be back later on in the week. We appreciate y'all being in the stream. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed, baby. PPR in here representing the flocking nation. Stand up, man. Listen, man, it's going to be a good season. We're going to do what we got to do. And if they don't, fam, you know what's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Saints, Pelicans, man, it's about that time of the year. College football is back, boxing, a lot of stuff going down. This is a great time of the year from now on until December, fam. Y'all enjoy this great sports that's about to drop. NFL, NBA coming up, the boxing, they got a lot of great boxing, a lot of college football about to get to going, man. A lot of great time, man. Sports, it's a sports person's paradise right now. We're going to be back later on in the week. Much love to you guys. Go Pels.
Show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the outlook. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That, you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform's store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro